All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. We've waited for anyone else to kind of come in, and so we'll go ahead and just get started at this point. So my name is Perry, and I'm going to be doing the training webinar today. I'm really excited to show you how Skipio works and really just kind of everything you need to know to get going with Skipio. This is because we are trying to invite as many people as possible on this webinar. We are going to be doing it as a closed question webinar. That's not entirely true, though. You are more than welcome to chat in your questions, and we will take a look at those throughout the webinar. And if they are questions that are commonly asked, we will go ahead and address those questions so that everybody else can get the same answer. But if I don't get to your question, I would recommend that you reach out to our support team at support@skipio.com. And they'll be able to give you the answers that you need, whether that's through an article, whether they actually write it out with all the instructions for you, or maybe they'll send you a video. So just keep that in mind as you feel free, like I said, to ask questions. But please don't be offended if I don't answer all of the questions that come through to me. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start sharing my screen right now, and we'll get going with this Skipio training. All right. Now, when you signed up for Skipio, you gave an email address to one of your sales reps, or you filled it out online. That email address is going to be the email address that you'll use to get into your Skipio account. And then you should have received at that same email address a confirmation email saying that your account has been set up, and it should have given you a password to get into your account. If you did not receive that password or that email, please contact our support team at support@skipio.com. They'll be able to get you the login credentials that you need to get into your Skipio account. Once you've received those login credentials, then what you'll do is you'll go to the website app.skipio.com. That is app.skipio.com. This is the direct login page, so you don't have to go to our Skipio homepage every single time. And this is where you'll go ahead and enter that information for that you received to log into your Skipio account. And so you'll put in the password, and you'll put an email and the password, and then before you can log in, you do have to check this box saying that you have read and agreed to the terms of service. Now, I would just recommend on this first time logging in to actually go through and take a look at the terms of service. These are the terms by which you are bound when you use our Skipio platform. They're here to protect you as well as us, so that it's a mutually beneficial relationship between user and platform. And so I would just recommend taking a look at that so you know what you're getting yourself into, and you know what rights you have while using the platform. After you've read those, go ahead and check that box, and then you can remember you. I've already been remembered on this device, so I'm not going to check it, but if you do check this remember me on this device, it will save those credentials for you so that you can log in more easily the next time. So we're going to go ahead and log in. For any users that have not logged into their Skipio account before, there will be a couple of screens that you'll go through just to kind of finish setting up your account. You will get to choose a brand new Skipio phone number. You'll be able to so you'll get to choose a Skipio phone number. You'll get to choose what time zone you work in, and then it will have you send out a text message to yourself just so that you could see just how easy it is to send text messages in Skipio. After you have gone through that setup, that initial setup, then it's going to bring you to what we call the Success Center. Now, the Success Center is our attempt to try to make Skipio more user-friendly by giving you ideas on how you can use Skipio in your business. And so what we've done is we've actually done a lot of use case studies. We've done a lot of just research, and we've created a lot of content that you can use so that you are, again, using Skipio effectively and sending out the types of messages that you want to send out, or even setting up campaigns templates so that you can get an idea of how campaigns work, kind of thing. So as you scroll down, you'll take a look. There's different articles on things that you can use. Over here on the left side are some of the templates, like I mentioned, that you can use. And if you want to use, if there's an article that you read, you can use any of the information in that article, even though it may come from a case study from someone else. You can totally use that same messaging. We've created a lot of content that is very It's useful and effective, but it's also very generic. So you're not going to get in trouble using some of the content that we've provided for you. The other thing that you can do is, like I said, if there is an article that you see that maybe it's a campaign and you want to use it, oftentimes there is an actual import campaign button. And this button will actually bring that campaign into your Skipio account so that you can edit it, you can adjust the messaging, you can adjust the timing and things like that. So one article, though, that I do want to recommend that you take a look at, especially after this call, is the Skipio Starter Guide. I'm going to be covering a lot of material on this training call, and I wouldn't blame you if you forgot or kind of logged away some of the information I go over. So what I would recommend doing is actually going and taking a look at this Skipio Starter Guide after you've had a chance to watch this training, because there's going to be 8 different points of or starting points, I guess you could call them, that will help you get up and rolling using Skipio effectively. So just take a look at that starter guide. It'll give you some information, like I said, in case you forget some of the things that I cover in this training. Now, kind of moving along. So after the Success Center, and if anyone has joined a little bit late to this meeting, if you have any questions, please feel free to chat them in. If I don't answer the questions, I will address the more commonly asked questions. But if I don't address any of your questions, please feel free to contact our support team at support@skipio.com. They will be able to give you the answers that you may need to maybe some of the more in-depth questions. But moving along, we do have the Skipio Message Center, the address book, the calendar, and the campaigns. These are going to be some of the newly, or not newly, I apologize, the navigational pages on the Skipio platform, so that whenever you need to send a message or respond to messages, you'll come here. If you need to adjust contact information, we'll come to the address book, or if you need to set up campaigns, you'll go to the campaigns. And we'll go more in depth into those here in a little while on this training call. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, at the beginning of or the very first login of your into your Skipio account, it will ask you to choose a brand new Skipio phone number. You will be able to access that Skipio phone number right here. Once you choose one, it just lists it here because you probably won't have that memorized right off the bat. So you'll want to see it a couple of times before you can get that memorized. So we've tried to make that easily accessible for you in your Skipio account. This next button right here, this is our Customer Support Center. The Customer Support Center is kind of similar to the Success Center, which is right over here in the top left corner, except for the Success Center is going to go over more use cases and ideas for how you can use Skipio. The Support Center right here is going to give you more instruction on how to actually accomplish things inside of Skipio. So if you take a look at some of these guided tutorials, there's a guided tutorial which is a step-by-step walkthrough on how to set up call forwarding. We do have video libraries, and so they can show you very short video clips on how to send picture messages or how to set up a Skipio campaign or things like that. So I would recommend that as you're trying to figure out how to use Skipio, definitely check out the Customer Support Center here by clicking on that question mark icon. Or if you can't find the answer in there, you can go ahead and click on the Success Center over here, and there's oftentimes articles that will describe how to do whatever you're looking for. And if you can't find it in any of those areas, then like I mentioned before, contact our support team at support@skipio.com, and they'll be able to get you the answer that you may need so that you can effectively use Skipio. So moving along, then we have this button right here in the top right corner next to the question mark or the support center, and that is the add contact button. Now the add contact button is where you're going to obviously go ahead and add all of the contacts into your Skipio account, and there's 3 ways of doing that. The first way is by adding them from your computer. Now some of you may be using a contact management system, and by doing that, it's basically storing all of your contacts into some sort of database, and you should be able to export those contacts into an Excel spreadsheet, whether that's an XLS format or a CSV format. It just kind of depends on the system. But as long as you can get that into an Excel spreadsheet, then we can help get those contacts into your Skipio account for you. And so So I will actually demonstrate here in just a couple of minutes how to format an Excel spreadsheet so that you can actually upload the contacts successfully into Skipio. But before I do that, I'm going to discuss the other two methods for uploading contacts. The second method is by doing it from your mobile phone. Um, if you have not downloaded the Skipio mobile app on your phone, there is an article in the Success Center. So if you come and select Success and start typing out the words mobile app, maybe not mobile app, just mobile. There is a new Skipio mobile app article, and it will give you links to the exact download for those Skipio mobile apps. Once you've downloaded the mobile app onto your cell phone, then it's gonna ask you if you would like to import contacts from your address book on your phone, and so it'll ask you if it can have permission to access that address book, and then you'll go ahead and just select. You can either select all of them from your phone address book, or if you only want to select a few, then you can choose just to do a few contacts at a time. Now, it's pretty simple, and so that a lot of times people don't necessarily have a contact management system, and so they just store all the contacts on their phone. We try to make it easy for you to get those contacts into your Skipio account, and whatever is imported onto the mobile app, it does sync automatically with the online app, so that your contacts are going to be in both places, so that you can use them all effectively. And then the last way that you can import contacts into your Skipio account is manually. So you'll click on this Add Contact Manually option, and this will ask you for the contact information that you need to enter for that contact to be added into your Skipio account. Now, you'll notice there's quite a bit of information that you may not have for for that particular contact, which is totally fine. Really, the only required fields, and this is for any method of uploading, whether that's through a file from your computer mobily or from this manual way method, but the required fields of contact information are the first name and the mobile phone number. As long as you have a first name and a mobile phone number, then you will be able to add that contact. It doesn't matter if you don't have any of the rest of the information. Just get that first name and get that phone number, and you'll be good to enter that contact information into Skipio. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you, we're going to go back and do this add contacts manually from your computer. And I have here a spreadsheet of just false data. And the reason why I've created this spreadsheet is because when you export your contact information from your CRM or your contact management system, the likelihood of it coming with a lot of additional information is very, very high. Contact management systems are meant to track and hold lots of information. So when you export those contacts, it's going to export most of the information that you've associated with that person. And so you're going to see a lot of columns that you may not be sure if you need inside of Skipio or not. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean it up so that you can see exactly which columns you need. And so the first thing that you'll want to do before when you export that file from your contact management system is first you're going to want to make sure that it is saved as a CSV file. So you're going to open it in Excel, and you're going to do File, Save As, and you're going to rename this. So let's name this, January 23rd contacts. And right here where it says file format. Now mine's already a comma separated value or a CSV file, but oftentimes when you export it, it'll be this kind of XLS file. Oopsies, XLS file. And so you'll just need to change that file format to say CSV. Now for Mac users or for really new Windows computer users, you will see this option that says CSV UTF-8. If you see that option, I would recommend using that CSV option because our system we've just found that the file uploads a little bit cleaner if you use this file format. If you don't have that format though, that's okay. You can just use the standard comma separated values CSV format. But since I do have it, I'm going to go ahead and use this option. So I'm going to save that. And you will need to close out of your file one more time just to make sure that works. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and reopen this. Let's open recent, and let's do January 23rd contacts. Okay, so now we have this open, and now let's go through and let's just get the contact information that we need. Now, like I mentioned before, the two sets of contact information that you need, like that are required, are the first name and the phone number. But on the first time uploading contacts into Skipio, we recommend doing just the basic contact information. So first name, last name, email address, and phone number. And that way you can just keep it really clean and really easy. And then you can upload it really quickly. So let's go through and just get rid of anything that is not contact information, basic contact information. So let's get rid of this ID column. We do have first name and last name and email right there, so we do want to keep those. Let's get rid of gender, IP address, and then there's phone number, so we do want to keep that one. We have to keep that one, actually. And then these last couple columns, plant family, hex color, credit card type, and payment. Let's go ahead and get rid of these because we don't actually need them. So delete. Okay. So now now that that's all good, let's go ahead and save this file. And then let's come back over into Skipio. And we're going to click on that Add Contacts from your computer. We're going to browse. And we're going to add that January 23rd contacts file. Okay, so now that that's been uploaded, we're not quite done with it. We have to match the columns with the data that we see. And so you'll notice that right up here, when you open that file, or when you create your file to upload, this very first row, we call this the column header, and it's not required, but it's actually really helpful because when we get to this point in the upload process, sometimes first names look like last names and vice versa. And so that column header, it appears right here, and it just indicates to us what column of data we're looking at. So right here, it's telling me that this is the first name column. So I'm going to go ahead and just match it with this first name bubble. Then the next field is the last name, so I'm going to match it with the last name column. Email, which is right here. And then we got the phone number, which is right there. And then once we've matched everything, it actually circles back to the beginning. So since I'm seeing first name and I've already matched first name, I know that I'm done. Now, one thing that I would recommend, this is actually best practice, is when you upload contacts, it's a really good idea to actually upload them into groups, because when you're sending messages, it's easier to call a group of names rather than actually typing out the names of each of those individuals. And I'll show you that here in just a couple of minutes. But to actually add contacts into groups, you can do it one of two ways. You can actually have a column. You'll notice that there's a button here that says group. So that means that on this spreadsheet, you could have a column for group, and whatever you put in this column it will create a group or add them to that group. So this is one way where if you have maybe a list of 100 people and only half of them are supposed to go into one group and the other half are go to another or another group, you can actually say, name this one group 1, and we'll basically copy this all the way down so that it says group 1, and then this one would be group 2, and we'll copy that all the way down and make it say group 2. So that's one way of doing it if you need to kind of differentiate on your file. And then since I didn't upload that file with this, that's why it's not showing up here. So I'd have to re-upload it again, which is fine. Or the other way that you can do it is you can actually add groups right underneath here in these box settings, and you can either add them to a group that you already have created, or you can create a brand new group and name it, I'm going to name this one January 23rd. Oopsies. Clients. Okay. So now it'll actually add them to a group called January 23rd clients. So I'm going to push continue. And boom, it says that I've uploaded 86 contacts into my Skipio account. So pretty simple. Like I said, it's just we just want to make sure that if you run into any issues uploading those contacts into your Skipio account, please contact our support team. And oftentimes, if there is an issue with it, it comes down just to like a formatting issue, and our support team will be able to quickly get that figured out for you. So, so that's how you upload contacts into your Skipio account. Now, once you've gotten contacts into your Skipio account, you'll then be able to actually send out messages to those contacts. And so what you're going to do to compose a brand new message, you'll click on this pencil icon in the top right corner, and this will bring up a brand new composed message box. Now, what I was mentioning earlier about being able to choose groups of people rather than individual names, you can actually do both. So if you want to start sending it to, let's do Perry Nickel, and then let's do, I want to send it to my sister Jocelyn. Sorry, clicked out of that. So Perry, and then let's do Jossie. Then you can actually start listing out these people individually. But in some cases, like if you're planning on sending it to groups of 10, 15, or 100 people at a time, obviously it would take you forever to have to sit and list every one of these people. And so what we're going to do now, instead of calling each individual by name, we're going to name the group, and we'll be able to send a message to that group. So let's just do that January 3rd group, 23rd group that we did. So I named it January 23rd clients. And now this is going to send to all 86 people that I just uploaded into Skipio. Then after you've chosen the clients or the groups that you're sending out to, then you want to choose a delay time or a send time for that message to go out. And so you can either do that now, you can do it in an hour, you can do it tomorrow, and it will just default to the time that it is right now, or you can do a very custom time. You can click choose, and it will allow you to choose, someday in the future at any time that you would like to in the future. And so that's really helpful, just because sometimes you think, oh, I need to text so and so tomorrow. Well, rather than actually setting a reminder in your phone, just create the message but have it send tomorrow at 5 p.m. so that you don't have to go do it yourself. Skipio does it for you. So really, really handy that way. Now, one thing I do want to mention as far as best practices are concerned is we recommend not doing or not creating groups that contain more than 250 people at a time, and then not sending to more than 250 contacts at a time. The reason for that is because we do deal with cell phone carriers, and the way cell phone carriers work is they do have filtering systems, so that when you send a message out, it will go through their filtering system, and then if they deem that it is an okay text message to send to their customer, they will send that out. But oftentimes, if they see messages coming through that appear spammy with spammy characters, or lots of dollar signs, all caps and all over the messages, or tons of links in the text messages, the cell phone carrier will actually block that message, and they can actually block the number as well, so that you can't actually even send messages. And so one thing that we notice, so first off, we recommend not doing those kinds of marketing tactics in your text messages. No, don't use all caps all that often. Don't use dollar signs and things like that. But the second thing that can really trigger those cell phone carriers to block messages is if they notice that it's coming from or that there's a bulk amount of text messages going out from one number. And so, we've been doing research on that over the last year or so, and we've noticed that if you keep it to 250 or less and spread out between 30 minutes, an hour, and apart, then you're going to fly under the radar of the carriers, and you shouldn't deal with any carrier violations or your messages getting blocked. So just keep in mind, no more than 250 at a time, and spread those out about 30 minutes to an hour apart. And if you do that, you should be fine. You shouldn't run into any issues. So then the next thing that I want to talk to you about is the actual text message body. And this is where you can actually send out the message that you would like. And one of the cool things with Skipio is that even though you're going to be sending it, like this group here has 86 people in it, even though you're going to be sending it to 86 people, you can still keep it individual and personalized, and they're going to think that you personally are reaching out just to them. They don't think it's part of a group text message. And so what you'll use is something called our custom fields, and the custom field that you'll use is the first name custom field. So what we would do is we would say, hey, and to access those custom fields, you do the square bracket icon, which is the key just right of the P on your keyboard. And so you click the square bracket, and you'll notice that there's a contact's first name option. Please don't get this confused with my first name, because what that will do is it will actually pull in your name or the name of the account owner, and that will obviously send out, hey, Perry, to every single person, which would look wrong. So you want to make sure you choose contact's first name, and it will say, hey, bracket name, first name, bracket, and then you'll just say, this is Perry with Skipio. I just wanted to check in and see how things are going. Hope all is well. So then what you get to do is you'll push continue. Now this won't actually send the message immediately. It'll actually give you just a preview of your message to make sure that you did it right. And so you'll notice here that now it's pulling in all the first names of those contacts in this January 23rd group. So it says, hey, Joanne, this is Perry. Hey, Cami, this is Perry. Hey, Warren. And it's gonna send out. So this is just helping you spot check to make sure that the message says what you want it to say. If that message looks good, then go ahead and push schedule. If it doesn't look good, then you can push back and you can actually go back and edit that message. So that's going to be how you're going to be able to send out your messages. And then kind of moving along into the message center in your Skipio account, this is where you're going to be able to do your one-on-one communication back and forth, because the other cool thing about Skipio is it is not one-way communication. It is going to allow you to communicate back and forth with people, and they're going to think it's your cell phone that they're texting, and you'll be able to have full-on conversations with these people. And so to continue those conversations, you're just going to go to the message center, and you're going to go ahead and click on a conversation, and it'll show you the conversation history for that person over here on the right side of the screen, and you'll be able to kind of go back and forth, see what they've been saying or asking about, and then you can answer right here in this text message body and have them like I said, just kind of continue on your conversation where you left off. So really, really helpful. Like I said, people may ask you questions after you send out a message about a service or a deal or an offer that you guys have. And so you'll want to respond to those people in a timely manner. And so this is where you'll be able to send out individual messages to those people. To continue on, we have the address book. So we actually just yesterday had a facelift to the address book, and I'm actually really excited to show you what it all looks like now. And so over here on the left side of the address book, it's going to show you all contacts and any deleted contacts that you have. And so it's just so that you can the deleted contacts, they appear here, but they don't actually take up space in your Skipio account. So if you're paying for a plan that has 1,500 contacts, whatever is listed here in the deleted contacts doesn't take part of that 1,500 limit that you have on your account. We have your groups, and then we have the campaigns. The link tracking is currently not really working, so I'm not going to go over that right now. If you have questions, you can ask our support team about that, about more information for it. And the same goes for tags. It doesn't really function right now. So if you have questions about that, you can reach out to the support team at support@skipio.com, and they'll be able to get you some more information about those. But we do have the groups, and like I said, these are all of the groups that we have that I've created in my Skipio account, and then we have all the campaigns that I've created in my Skipio account. And when you click on one, it'll show you who is currently part of that campaign. But I don't, as of right now, have anyone part of any of my campaigns. So one of the nice new facelifts that came with the address book update is now we have some group actions. So if you want to view that group, and what it means by view group is that actually is going to give you opportunity to add the entire group to a campaign. It's gonna take you to this page where you can then add that entire group to a campaign, which is kind of nice. The other thing that you can do with this with these options by clicking on these three dots next to the group name. Let's get this to load up again real quick. It will allow you to message that entire group, so it'll just bring up a brand new composed message box with that group name. It'll allow you to edit the group name. You can delete the group, or you can export that group to a CSV file. So those are some of the actions that you can do with each individual group. The next thing that you can do is you can add new contacts from your computer. This is another section where you can actually add those contacts. And then this button right here, this groups button, this is going to be, these actually don't activate unless you've actually selected contacts. So what I mean by that is you'll have to go to all your contacts or into any of these groups. It doesn't matter, wherever you can find contacts, and you'll check these boxes. And when you check a box, then up here, you can actually, create a brand new group from the selected people that you've chosen, or you can add them to a group by checking the box next to the name of that group. The other thing that you can do is you can add them to campaigns by doing the same thing. You can just check the box next to the name of the people that you want to add to the campaign, and you can click on this campaigns and you just check the box for the name of the campaign you would like to add them to. So, and it'll just, when you click on it, it added them to the campaign, and now they are good to go. I'm going to remove those people from the campaign. So let's go to, now to add or remove people from groups and campaigns, you do the exact same thing. You just go to the campaign or the group, or as long as you can find that contact, then what you're going to do is you're going to go there and you're going to, oopsies, just check the box and you're going to remove them from that campaign. So now they're removed from the campaign. A couple of other actions that you can do, and this is what I would recommend when you're moving people into campaigns or into groups. But once you've selected contacts, you can navigate to a different group or to a different campaign or a different page of your address book. And if you were to select additional contacts, it would add to a total of how many contacts you've previously selected. So right here, right here, right here. Now you'll notice that even though it's showing 3 contacts selected right here, I've actually selected 6 total. So what I would recommend is after you add somebody to a group or to a campaign, come over to this actions and deselect all of those contacts so that it says 0 contacts selected right here, so that you don't accidentally add people into campaigns or groups that they shouldn't be in. And then one other nice little feature right here is if you click on this customer center, this is going to give you it's going to take you to direct articles that discuss how to use the address book, especially after this update has taken place. So if you have any questions, please feel free to check those out so that you can get the answers that you need. Moving along, we have our calendar. Now the calendar is going to show up, it's going to show you all of the work that you've done in the past. So it's going to show you messages that you've scheduled in the past, as well as messages that you've scheduled in the future. And then if you click on a date in the future, it'll actually bring up a brand new composed message box with that date as the send time. And then it does default, like I mentioned, to the current time, but you can just adjust that. Maybe you want to send it on the 14th. So it's Valentine's Day that I actually just chose. And maybe you want to send that at 1:35 just saying happy Valentine's Day, we're running a special deal, whatever the case may be. You'll be able to reach out to them effectively in the future. So the calendar is really just kind of to double check the work that you've been doing and make sure that you're all on the same page. And then the last section that I want to show you inside of Skipio is this campaign section. Now, for those of you that may not know, a campaign is a series of pre-created text messages that will go out at automated delay times. And so basically what the start of a campaign is either when you manually add someone to the campaign, like I showed you over here in the address book, that's the start of a campaign. Or you can set up keywords with your campaigns and have like customers or clients or whoever it may be text into your account, and then they would start receiving the automated text messages. And so I'm going to kind of go over a little bit more in depth some of these campaigns. We'll actually build a little bit of a simple campaign with a keyword for you so you can get an idea of how you can use it. But the 3 main purposes that you use campaigns for are for follow-up, for promotional events or activities, or for educational purposes to educate your customer about, your product, your service, or whatever you may want to teach them about. And so, so the first campaign, actually, I would love to show you this one right here. We do have several campaigns templates that you can use just to kind of get your wheels turning on how to use campaigns. If you would like to know if your industry has campaign templates, you can contact our support team at support@skipio.com and just say, hey, I'm looking to know or see if you have campaigns for such and such industry. And if we do, then we'll definitely share with you the import code for those campaigns, so that you can start kind of taking a look at those templates. If we don't, we'll let you know, but we would love to also work with, newer industries and say, hey, let's build some, templates that if you don't mind sharing with other people, we can kind of get going. We definitely want to have a community of sharing here at Skipio so that everyone can get a good feel of how they can utilize Skipio effectively. So anyways, reach out to our support team if you would like to know if we have any campaigns for your industry. But anyways, back to this though, we do have a couple of campaigns for the fitness industry, and this is a great campaign to demonstrate the follow-up aspect of campaigns that I was kind of telling you about. And so the way that this campaign works, you'll notice that it is 18 messages long. A campaign can be as little as one message long, or as many as messages as you would like to create. There's not a limit on it. But in this case, we've gone up to 18. And the way this campaign works is, like I mentioned, the start of the campaign is when you actually put that person into the campaign. Then this first message will go out 2 days after that. So if I put somebody into this campaign today, they would receive this first text message on Friday at 3:28 p.m. Friday. Then this next message goes out at the specified delay time from when this message went out. So if they received this first message on Friday, they would receive this message 4 days after that, which would be Tuesday at 11:53 a.m. Then this next message would go out 10 days after that. So 10 days after Tuesday would be 7 days would be the following Tuesday. So an additional 3 days would be Friday. So they would get that message that, basically 2 weeks later at 11:45 a.m. And so it just continues to go off of when the last message was sent. So each of these delay times is when that last message sends. And you'll notice here, I mean, we've got a couple of 20-day delays, 15, 18-day delays. This campaign is basically going out the course of about 6 or 7 months. And so the nice thing about that is, because they are all automated messages, you don't have to go in and actually manually send it. You can actually just let it run on its own, and it will send out all on its own. And
it basically just says, oh, I apologize.
Oh, sorry about that. I bumped my headset and it muted my mic. But anyway, as you know, a lot of these are all, hey, how's it going? In the fitness industry, it's all about motivation and keeping people pumped up and ready to come back to the gym. And so a lot of these are like, you're doing awesome, keep killing it. A couple of funny videos, like number 7 and number 8 is a funny video and a funny emoji, just kind of, getting in there saying, hey, like, wouldn't this be hilarious? And that's kind of part of the magic of campaigns too, is because they are automated, it's easy to create like a very computer sounding message that's not very personal, but try to have fun with your messages, right? Like, keep things light, use emojis, don't always do it about business, just check in every once in a while and see how they're doing. Send funny videos every once in a while saying, hey, I saw this and thought of you. If you can keep things light and funny, then you're gonna have great response rates, and your customers are gonna feel like they can contact you regularly, and that you'll reach out to them and get back to them quickly. So that's just an idea when it comes to follow-up campaigns. The next kind of campaign, like I mentioned, is for promotional. The best way to describe this one is like, if you've ever gone to a restaurant and they say like, hey, if you would like a free appetizer, just text appetizer to this number and we'll send you a coupon for that appetizer. Well, keywords in Skipio work the exact same way. You would say, hey, text this keyword and I will send you this sort of offer or information about this deal, or whatever the case may be. And so we're going to go ahead and create one of those. If you click on this all campaigns button, and there you'll be able to click on this new campaign button right here. And this is how you're actually going to build your campaigns. Now, every campaign has to have a campaign name and a description. So I'm just going to put in, promotion. Let's do deal campaign. And this campaign will send my customers the deal for 50% off. Now, this campaign name and description are just for you so that you know what that campaign is being used for. And then this is what you're going to do. You're going to add this keyword. Now, the keyword, you can actually do key phrases if you would like, multiple words in it. But in this one, I'm just going to do deal. I'm going to actually call this one daily deal. So I'm going to do two words. Now, the rules for the keywords, the way they work is that the person that's texting in, they just have to spell the keyword the exact same way that you have it spelled here. And so capitalization doesn't matter, but spacing does. So for example, if someone texted in daily deal like this, that would not trigger this keyword because there's a space in this keyword and there's not a space in their text message. But if they responded like that, then that would work, even though this is a capital D and this is a lowercase d, and both of these are capital D's. So the spelling doesn't the spelling does matter, the capitalization does not matter. Now, one thing that you can do if you're afraid that customers are going to get the keyword wrong, or if you use words that are commonly misspelled, you can create multiple keywords per campaign. So you could do one like this, just in case somebody did, text in without the space. Sometimes maybe people spell daily like that. Maybe they spell daily, dill, whatever the case may be. You can get creative with this. The reason why I mentioned that you can create multiple keywords is just because it helps you cast a broader net, and it helps take care of anyone that may accidentally misspell things, and that way they can still receive your text message even if they didn't spell it correctly. So that's just kind of up to you. It doesn't really matter. You can do it just the one, or you can do multiple keywords if you would like to. Then after you've done the keyword, then you're going to go ahead and create this first text message. And on this first message, when you're doing promotions, oftentimes you want that message to go out really quickly. So we're going to do a minimum of 1 minute. Now, when you're doing Skipio and you're creating these text messages, you're going to be tempted to do 0 on here because you're thinking that 0 is going to be quicker than 1. However, our system has a hard time processing that number, so we recommend doing a minimum of 1. And whether that's on minutes or on days, it's the same. So if this one's wait days, that means it would go out tomorrow at 10:33. Some people would say, well, I'm going to do 0 and make it go out today at 10:33. But unfortunately, like I mentioned, that just doesn't really work. The 0 is hard to process. So we say do a minimum of 1. If you want it to go out today, then just do 1 minute, or all the way up to, 2, as many minutes as you want to. So let's make this one go out 1 minute, and we're going to say this one is give the deal and collect info. So when you're doing promotions, a lot of times, especially because the thing about keywords is if you can get those keywords in front of as many people as possible, you're going to see a lot of success. So put that on social media, create posters, put it on your website, bumper stickers, business cards, flyers, whatever the case may be. Get that keyword out there. People will text in just out of curiosity to see what happens. And so because of that, there is a chance that somebody that texts in a keyword may not actually have spoken with you before. So you're going to want to collect their contact information so that you can keep in touch with them going forward. And so we're going to say, thank you for showing interest in our 50% off deal. Here is your coupon, and you can include the coupon by clicking on this paperclip icon. It'll allow you to upload a PDF file or whatever the case may be. And then just say, also, I'd love to stay in touch with you going forward about other deals. So please fill out this contact or this form so I can remember who you are. Then we're going to go ahead and choose that bracket for the custom field, and we're going to choose this contact form link. And what this contact form link does is it collects their first name, last name, and email address and automatically updates it into Skipio for you because you do have their phone number already. And so then you can remember who that person is in your address book. So then you'll push save. So then all you have to do is you just would have to wait until someone texted in daily deal to your Skipio number up here, and it will then send out that automated text message with the deal that you offered, as well as collecting their contact information. Now, the third purpose for Skipio campaigns is for educational purposes, and the educational purpose campaigns will actually work the same way as these promotional campaigns, and that is by using a keyword to have somebody text into your account to learn more about your service or the benefits of using your service. One example that I use in the fitness industry a lot is with new clients, with new gym members that come in, oftentimes it's hard. That first week is really difficult for them and they get really sore. And that's when you lose a lot of clients because it's hard and it's just trying to train a new way of thinking. Well, I've seen a lot of gym owners actually create a campaign that says sore muscles with the keyword. And what that campaign message or what that campaign does is it just sends them recovery tips to help them, recover effectively so they can come back into the gym the next time and not hurt themselves, or just keep staying motivated to come to the gym. And so, if you're trying to teach your customers about the benefits of certain products that you offer, maybe you could create a keyword with the name of that product and have multiple messages going out about, how often you should use the product, some of the benefits that the product offers, if it's a cleaning product, this one makes it clean and the clean lasts for, several weeks or whatever the case may be. Just apply it twice a day or whatever. If you want to provide information about how to order the products, you could even include a link by copying and pasting the link into the text message body, and take them to a direct ordering page for the product. If it's a service, if you have like a window cleaning service, maybe you could give them tips about how to keep their windows clean or things that they can do, to actually make it so that they don't have to call you as often, kind of things. Things like that actually they build a lot of value for clients, and it helps them want to come back to you because they feel like not only are you there to offer great service, but you're actually teaching them how to do it themselves a little bit, and it creates value for them so that they can actually, not wholly rely on you, even though you do want them to rely on you, if that makes sense. So that's how the educational campaigns work. You would just create a similar campaign. You'd have multiple messages, like I said, just to give multiple tips, but they would trigger it by creating this, this keyword. So, and then the last thing I want to show you on today's presentation is, and this deals with campaigns, is if you click up here in the top right corner and go to My Profile, there are campaign delivery windows or hours that say it is okay to send a campaign campaign message during this time frame. Because campaign messages are automated, there is a chance that it could go out at an appropriate time of the day or night. So for example, it could go out at, someone texted a keyword at like midnight, it would look really weird for you to send a quick response back to them, and it would feel less personal because they would feel like it's an automation. And even though it is, you do want to try to help them feel like it's personal. So what we've done is we've created these windows where basically you can say, yep, I want messages to go out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday by checking these boxes. And then each day you can slide these hours to say, okay, on Monday I only allow messages to go out from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. But then the rest of the week I go out basically from 1 a.m. or 12 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. And so you can kind of adjust those. That way messages won't go out at weird times of the day or night, and you'll be able to kind of manage that. If someone does text in outside of these windows, what Skipio will do is Skipio will try to schedule the message, but it'll see, oh, nope, I can't schedule it now. So I'm going to check back every couple of hours until I finally do hit one of these windows. Once it hits one of these windows, then it will schedule and it will be able to send. So alrighty, well that's all I have for you all today for the Skipio training. If you have any additional questions, like I said, go ahead and send those to our support team at support@skipio.com. They'll be able to give you information or articles or videos that will help answer those questions for you. But I'm really excited for you to get using your Skipio account. Skipio truly is a game changer. It allows you to automate and really keep your conversations personal with hundreds of clients. And so just dive right in and get using it, and you'll start seeing, different applications for it. And if you ever have questions, please reach out to us. We're more than willing to help out and get you the information you need. So thank you, and hope you all have a great day.